Yes, Lord.
Ooh, hallelujah.
Well, as some of you may have noticed, I don't know if all of you have noticed, but my wife and I went on a honeymoon. And went to some little place. It was Van Cleve or... No, we didn't go to Van Cleve. We went to someplace
They
different.
started with an I.
Went to, yeah.
Went to Sochi.
Went to Social, yeah. Up around McHenry. No, of course, we went to Italy. And for 9 days, had an amazing time. And I know everybody wants to, you're wondering, what did you do? Where did you go? Was the food good? Food good? Absolutely. Amazing stuff. So anyway, so today we're going to do something I've never seen done and probably never do it again. But since everyone wants to know, and the people that are watching on YouTube, I've got relatives all over from Colorado to who knows where, Timbuktu, that watch. And so we're going to show you guys a bunch of pictures from our honeymoon. So first of all, what I've got on the computer, but I could not get it up onto the screen, is we went to Venice first. We flew into Venice. And we got basically a day and a half there. We got 2 nights, but you fly in. We didn't get there till 11:30 or so by that morning. And after we'd flown all night long, left New Orleans at 1 o'clock or 1:15, and got into Newark at 5 something. At 7 o'clock we left there and flew overnight to Belgium. Got there at 8:30 in the morning. Ran to the next gate after we had bought some Belgian chocolate. I didn't say that, didn't buy enough for everybody. I thought, boy, I wish I'd have bought about 10 boxes of this stuff. Got into Venice at around 11:30 or something, 11:15.
Which was the following day to here.
Which was, yeah. It was 7 hours difference. They're 7 hours ahead of us. So anyway, but we had a 1 full day and then the next day, but we had that full half day, so we took off and started exploring the place. Slept in the next day because we hadn't slept in 24 hours or more than that. But missed our walking tour, but we went on a walking tour of our own. So we had a lot of fun, but one of the things that I really wanted to show you guys, and we made a little video, we're in this plaza in the main part of Venice, and we were standing there. They've got outdoor cafes all over the place, or just dining area, al fresco dining. And in a very nice place right off the canal, the Grand Canal. And we're looking, and there's this 5-piece orchestra, basically. Guy with a violin, the big bass, the one was on piano, and a drum, and one played the clarinet, and things like that. So there must have been more than 5 of them. Anyway. And they were playing beautifully, and all of a sudden we're looking around and hear them playing the Hallelujah chorus in the background. It was amazing, and she says, "You got to dance with me." So I said, "Okay." So we start dancing, and we said, "We got to video this, So I've got a video. It's on my phone, right, and on yours now, and I've got it on the computer, but maybe afterwards we'll pull it up and let you see that. But we were sitting there in the main square of Venice, dancing to the Hallelujah chorus, and they played it amazing. It was amazing. So that was one of our first things that we got to do on our honeymoon. That's an honor, right? So from here, come on up, my dear, and let us, yes. Now, does she look European or what? I mean, she fit right in. She loved to do this with the dirty rice and everything else. So let's start and show you some of the things. Here's me standing, this is right outside our hotel, we're on this side, of course. And just standing there, I got a little, but just the thing, we were directly across from the train station, which is this smaller thing just on the other side there. All these boats are taxis.
Wow.
Since they don't have taxi cars, they've got taxi boats. Then there's us having having a glass of wine actually, right outside our hotel that night, the first night. Then we'll see all these the roads. Of course, it doesn't look like a road now, does it? But all the buildings and everything, they don't tear anything down because they're old buildings. They don't want to tear them down. So they just keep remodeling and redoing them. There's maybe the same, yeah. Believe it or not, the wine there has got a very, very low amount of alcohol in it. Yeah. So interesting. So you can drink a glass of wine and it's like you just drank it tastes amazing, but just very little alcohol, so you don't get any kind of high.
Was it chilly there?
It was chilly.
Very chilly.
It was very chilly. We were freezing, but little wine warms you out, you know, I'm just saying. You can see, doesn't she look over it?
I'm saying, we were so tired, we thought about walking on top of the water to get to
Yeah,
the other side
yeah.
of the train station.
Walk across the street wasn't
We
easy.
couldn't do it.
Yeah. We're standing on the bridge. You had to go up and there's steps. It was a long bridge, all kind of steps up and over the other side just to get across the street, you know, or the canal. These are some of the old buildings and things like that. This is a construction barge because they're constantly redoing all these buildings, just dozens and dozens and dozens of them, from the inside or the outside, one of the two. So you had these construction boats all over, hauling all kinds of different materials. This is the bridge that we went over to get to our, from one side to the other on our place. Again, just some of the architecture and everything was just amazing. I like that. This looks almost Arabian or something, the way the things over the windows and all that. And you'll notice the main entrance there is blocked off because they're redoing that building. This is the plaza, and that we heard this, and right over here is where the orchestra was at. This is the plaza continuing on back. Look at the buildings back there. I mean, they had some incredible buildings, which we'll show you some closer ones.
Now, is that the plaza that floods?
I don't know, to be honest with you. If it
Maybe
floods,
in another city, where every day the water comes in.
it doesn't do that. No, it didn't do that there. It must be someplace else. And you'll see half this building here. You'll see this is, you know, covered over because they're redoing it. And they'll take it and redo it in sections to where, and by the time they're done with it, they got to start back over again. I've got some better pictures close up here shortly. Oh, look, that looks like a gondolier behind us there, doesn't it?
Yes, hallelujah.
We were in the gondola, and
Before we got in there,
yeah,
we were going to the ferry.
yeah.
Very good. And this lady, older than we are,
Yeah.
she starts screaming, running out of the other ferry. Alicia, Alicia! Pickpocket, pickpocket. She chased that man down. She did. She got him.
Pickpocket.
Yeah. They tell you gotta be careful.
Yeah,
Big
because when we were coming back from Rome, going back to the room, from Rome, we were going up the escalator.
Out of the
And
subway.
I was a little further back to, from Brother Pastor Mike. And this one guy started shoving on me, trying to knock me down. And there was another man on the other side screaming at him, and they're arguing back. And so he pulled out his camera and took pictures of the man that was shoving me down. And what it was, he wanted to turn him in. Because like Pastor Bill said the other day, he was setting me up to pickpocket me. But he didn't get nothing because everything was underneath my clothes and everything.
Yeah. We had a money belt around the front, so they wouldn't get anything on that.
You hear that Cajun Italian accent?
Yeah, you know it,
He
yeah.
ain't getting nothing.
Yeah, ain't there nothing getting nothing. So here's another one in the gondola, of course. This is our room in Florence. Yeah. This is some of the architecture, the big old tower. Who knows how old it is? You know, we were just walking around on our own at this point. This is walking up. There's hills everywhere in Florence and in Rome, of course. Rome, the city of 7 hills. But walk up the stairs and down the stairs and up the hill and around the corner. I mean, goodness gracious.
That's a waterfall behind you.
Yeah. Now look at this thing. It looks like a castle, doesn't it? And you can see the inside, how the staircase goes up and around and up and up and up.
That's the back of the tower that we just saw.
Yeah.
That's the back of it.
Yeah. And you can see the hills in the background. See all the different mountains and what have you in the background. Same castle, but now you can see all the spires on the churches going out over this way. And all the churches in Italy are free admission, and we're going to show you some here in a minute. Amazing things. There's only one of them, the Church of Peter or something. I don't remember, and it's €5, so about $5 to get in. But yeah, but you can see all the different buildings which we're going to go up close to. That's our hotel. We had one of the balconies there on the left side of the building, right up above the main entrance. It was great, except for the guys on the motorcycles and stuff never stopped all night long.
The reason why we know about that, they don't let you run an air conditioner.
There's no air conditioning.
And at night or day, because it gets cool at night.
Right.
So it was getting hot, and so we opened up the sliding door, and so we got to hear all the noise, all the traffic, the fire trucks, policemen,
Yeah.
everything. So we didn't see too bad.
Yeah, that didn't work too good.
Next time, take their place.
Of course, this is parked right across the street from our hotel right there. Again, right there, that's a giant plot, as you can see.
Yes.
Right in the park, right across the street too. Same thing with a beautiful woman in front of it. And a glass of wine, you know, I mean.
Why not?
Now look at this.
Oh,
This is
yes.
inside one of the churches. That's the ceiling, obviously, and look at that. I mean, that's just the ceiling. And you stop and think about every one of these things, every one of these paintings or whatever that's up there. Looks like I didn't rotate it. We put all these in here. Yesterday, my daughter Heather came and showed us how to get them off the phones and onto the computer.
Oh,
Put them all on there, and then I pulled them up this morning, and about 90% of them would be turned sideways and upside down and everything else. I had to spend about half an hour back here, put them all back around the right way. So, this is a statue. I forget who made it, but this is supposed to be, the guy on the bottom is the father, and this is the new husband taking the daughter away from the father.
oh.
So, interesting thing anyway. But this guy, his face looks exactly like Sylvester Stallone.
Oh.
I mean, you look at him going, wow, Sly, how'd you get in there? I mean, you know, it's been a minute, you know. Anyway, they got, of course, this is in the museum in Florence. And you see they're taking him off the cross there. Again, looking down all the statues, and you'll see the one at the back there. You might recognize that. That's the statue of David made by Michelangelo. He finished that statue when he was 23 years old. 23. People did not believe that he did it. So he went back and snuck in and signed the bottom of it, just so they would know that he did it. They're thinking, there ain't no way you did that at 23 years old. But he painted his first painting, his first work of art, at 13. And it is incredible, crazy, amazing. But he said, you know, you can't really appreciate that from just a flat surface, you know. The only way you can really appreciate a work of art is from 3D, all the way around. So he got into sculpting. And you can see how big he is. I mean, the heads of the people are barely up to his feet. So and this is from the back side. Now, what you're not seeing on the front side, we didn't show a full front on him, but for obvious reasons. When you notice he had something in his left hand, and then he had something in his right hand behind him. If you'll notice, there is a strap running across his back right here. And he had his sling in his left hand and the rock in his other hand, and it's in the sling. It comes right around and goes in. He's holding on to that rock with his other hand, waiting to nail someone, right? And we know who he nailed.
But it only took him 3 years to sculpt.
Yeah, 3 years.
And well, I wish we could.
Out of marble.
Yeah, I wish we could bring it up closer because he was so detailed. You could see the veins and the hands and the muscles,
and
different
everything.
muscles, and his legs, and explain. I'm going to get ahead of you now. His hands, if you look at his hands, they're really large, and so is the head. And that was because, and the feet. Yeah, he did have big feet. And that was because they had him to be put on a building above, so he looked normal. His hands wouldn't look so large. They looked natural being up there. And that's why. But you could see all the detailed work, the muscles and everything, and his calves, his thighs, and then the back of it. It is just really, everybody should really go see that.
And no one had ever done that before.
And they had him up there, and somebody went with a hammer and started chipping off his toes.
Oh,
So they put a gate,
Yeah.
an iron gate around it, so we could not touch. But the tourist says, touch this railing. He says, this is what is protecting that statue, because people want to destroy that
Isn't
statue.
that crazy?
yes.
Took and chipped off his toes. It's amazing. And something fell out of an apartment. It was in the middle of the downtown there, outside in the open air. And someone dropped or threw something out of an apartment next to him and took a chunk out of his arm.
Oh,
And
no.
they had to repair it. It's on the other side. You can't see it now. But you could see the repair if you knew it was there. I think it was up here. I don't think it was
But
up
you can see the detail in his back, shoulder blades. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Everything.
he just,
No one had, at that point, no one had ever gone to that much detail in a sculpture before, and he started it at 23 years old. I mean, that's crazy.
only 3 years.
Yeah. So, and here he is at a little bit of a distance. You can see how big his hands are. You see how big his hands appear? I mean, and you can see the sling in the one hand, and now he's holding it. You wouldn't notice that rock in his hand. Because he didn't want anyone to see that rock in his hand, right? If you're going to use it, you got a hidden weapon.
There's the gate, the iron
Yeah, the bar is all they got there,
Well, you
but,
cannot touch it.
yeah, the toes on his left
Left
foot that's hanging over the edge there is one they attacked. Insane, the stupidity, you know. Here's one where they have just taken Jesus off the cross. A lot of paintings of that, and these are real paintings because you can see the way the paint is swirled on the canvas and everything else. Sometimes you're wondering, is that just a picture that they put up there? No, these are paintings.
You can actually see gold glittering in
Yeah,
there as
yeah,
well.
exactly.
Yeah.
This, I forget who that is. I think that's Mary and the baby, or the child, Jesus. And you see a snake at the bottom. I just noticed him down there.
Yes.
So interesting. And all these different people that are on the walls behind her. It's just amazing. This is a long place that's got nothing but these things all through it. Now, why they decided not to put clothes on anyone, but, you know, it's the way they do it, so what are you going to do? You can see some of these have been outside for longer, and you can see the discoloration from the birds and everything landing there forever, as you know.
Clothes on them.
They put clothes on them, so hey, you know.
Makes you
Again, we
wonder
got,
if David went out that way to kill Goliath.
yeah. You know what's interesting, you see this one right here, you see all the holes. I don't know what it is, but they're not actually holes, they're protrusions. And I never got anyone to tell me what that was for. But a lot of them have these all over these statues. I don't know if they were taking pictures or something to be able to recreate. I don't know what it was, but they weren't that way, of course, when they were sculpted. These are actual sculptures.
Yes.
These are not something that someone did out of plaster of Paris or anything else like that. These are marble. This is Christ coming down off the cross again. This is, tell them what this is.
That is a man with a wolf laying back.
Yeah,
And he's petting the wolf, rubbing the wolf's chest.
yeah.
Oh.
And if I'm not mistaken, no, this is in, I don't think.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see the
this
wolf
is
between his
in-
legs.
Still in front, but you see still all the busts all around the walls up above.
I see.
Just incredible, the different things that they've got. This child with a dog, you know, and just interesting things. And again, this obviously has been stained from being outside for too long, who knows how long. And,
Okay.
yeah, go for it.
Okay, if you look at the picture, right here, this is where they thrust Jesus with a
With the-
spear.
yeah.
If a lot of people think the blood just dribbled down, it spewed out
You see that?
of his body. It didn't just roll down his body.
It's spurting out.
Right.
Yeah,
But
and I
look,
thought that
because
was
of the weight of
interesting.
his body.
That they put that in there, because it was spewing, it went into his heart,
Yeah.
you know? And yeah, it's gonna be spewing every time the heart beat until it ran out of blood. Again, Christ up there, and that's his mother and probably Mary Magdalene. And
Yeah,
there
that's
you
a
got
close
again
picture.
spewing out. Of course, it's the only blood they show. He was a bloody mess by that time. And this is the tree of life. I had a picture of the plaque underneath it, but this is the tree of life, and it's of Jesus and his the descendants. You know how it shows in Matthew and Mark, I forget, where it shows the lineage of Jesus. So they call it the tree of life. And someone painted that. These are actual paintings from hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
Wow.
And they're still in just amazing shape. and you can see the gold all in there. It's amazing. So, well, that's some guy eating some lasagna. This is lasagna. We stopped in just a restaurant, a nice place, but you see, that doesn't look like our lasagna, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Totally different and amazing. Absolutely amazing. It was a creamy lasagna. It had a little bit of a tomato sauce on the top of it. And it wasn't layer after layer like we have. It was only about this thick. But it was amazing. I got that. She got the penne pesto. At penne
It's a pasta.
pasta with
And they
pesto.
don't cook pasta like we do.
They do
We
it out there.
overcook ours.
Yeah.
They, what is it called?
Al
A la
dente.
dente. In French, it's a la dente.
Well, they're
Yeah.
Italian,
It's
so
Italian,
it's
so
good.
it's-
Look, they
it's-
have- we were watching one lady, we were waiting to get on the ferry in Venice, and this lady talking on the phone, and she was constantly, had to move her hands all over the place. It was funny. But that stuff was incredible. And not that bad on price.
What was that you had in your hand? Did you
Bread.
Bread, yeah, they have some interesting bread.
It was better than what we used to.
Yeah, the different bread, it's not like the bread that we use. Just walking down the street and saw this and.
That is a church. We
Oh,
wanted
the
to
white thing,
go
yeah.
back in there. We wanted to go see it, and they had, what, 6 opening entrances to it?
Something like that.
And the line was
Lines.
so long. We said, forget it, we couldn't get in there.
Didn't want to spend a couple of hours just to get in, so.
And then we're getting ready to close.
Yeah, it was getting late in the day, as you can see. But look at this. This is all marble. That is all marble. And I don't know if they did it here. I'll wait on the rest of that story.
Yeah.
But yeah, can you imagine? But they're in Italy, and travertine marble is in the mountains right around them. So they just go and getting what's close by. And they would, when they wanted to, who was it that was building something? I think it was for the Pope or something, I don't know. And they didn't want that local junk, travertine marble, so they spent a fortune to get some garbage out of somewhere in Africa, I think it was. But I thought that was interesting. But look, that's incredible. I mean, that's truly incredible just to see the architecture and everything else. So this is the front of it. And you can see the paintings over all the doors. And look at these doors. Here's the people and there's the door. Just about every one of these old buildings had doors that were 15 feet tall or more. And the carvings inside, that you can see the ornate carvings and statues just all over. And everyone's different. Every statue is different. The big windows here and everything else. We didn't get in this one because it was just too full. But you can see the details is just unbelievable. It's huge.
The pictures are doing it justice.
Yeah, you could not get it to do justice to that. But just amazing architecture that was done, I don't know, in the 1400s or something. How did they do that with no power tools whatsoever? How could you get that stuff up there? Because that's, as you can see, that's way up there. It's huge. And next to it, you can see same building, but attached to it is this big tower. I think it's a bell tower, yeah.
Those doors weigh up to about like 2,500 pounds apiece.
Yeah.
And they open and close as smooth as your bedroom door.
And because the way they do it, they have a piece of steel cut into the marble and round, and they have a roller on it that it just follows that like a railroad track just about. sunk in level to the marble floor, because the floors are marble. But yeah, you can swing that door just smooth as butter, because it runs along that railroad track they've got in there to me. Anyway. So, oh boy, another gorgeous one there. Golly. Didn't she look like she just fished right in there? I mean, I'm just saying. This was on the balcony overlooking the park that we were just showing you a minute ago. Again, just walking through town, and there's this building just sitting there. All these, they love arches. I mean, and I was about to make a joke about McDonald's because of the arches. They've got McDonald's and Burger King. About 3 doors down from our hotel in Venice was a Burger King. I was like, and McDonald's all over Rome and everywhere, all over the place. McDonald's was great.
What city is this?
This is
That's in
Florence.
Still in Florida.
Still in Florence. And this is just some random building, you know, that we just said, look at this, it's amazing.
Like, you wanted the picture because of the arch.
Yeah, the arch was pretty cool. Yeah. Now, that you might recognize. That is the Coliseum, of course. We just got off the metro train, the subway, came up right up to it. And these here, you see all these statues in here? That's actually just pictures on a wall, because they've long since, like a screen, they've long since been gone, so they just recreated.
The yellow wall is construction.
Yeah, it's all construction. They're constantly redoing it, constantly, because it's constantly deteriorating. It's so old.
What I appreciate about Rome, they mention Jesus every time.
Yeah.
They had anything to say. It was either before Christ or after Jesus.
After Christ,
Or after Christ. But she'd say Jesus.
Yeah.
They were
Over and
our
over
tour
again.
guide. She was not ashamed to say his name.
Yeah. But you'll notice here, this is all, I forget what this is made of, but at the time that it was made, the entire thing, floors, walls, everything was covered in the travertine marble. It's not there. The churches, when they went to build the churches, they went, oh look, all this nice marble that we can rip off the side of the Colosseum and build their churches with it. That's what they did. Okay, I better move on before I. Yeah, it's like, how stupid can you get? But, you know.
Yeah, but they didn't know that was gonna be a,
Yeah. This was built in 64, started in 64 AD. And by one of the, what do they call, I forget what it is now, anyway, the kings or whatever. And then it was finished by his son in 130 or something like that. Didn't take that long to build, or it might have been 80 something. It wouldn't. Yeah, the emperor. And his son finished it. You know why they built it? Because they didn't have TV back then. It was a political system like we've got now. So how are you going to get everyone to come into one place where you can talk to them? You build this and give them free food, free admission to come and see things. They would bring in animals from around the world, like crocodiles and lions and tigers and who knows what, all kinds of crazy stuff. And it would be an all-day event. And you can see all the little things around the bottom, the arches all the way around the very bottom. Those are entrances. And when you went in, you would go in and you go straight in from your entrance and go to your seat straight up above it. So it held 60,000 people
Oh.
And they could, because they had so many, I forget how many entrances, like 84 entrances or something like that. And they could empty the 60,000 seat thing in half an hour.
Oh.
I think they need to get in touch with the guys at the Superdome and teach them a little bit about how to get people out of these places. And nobody got trampled, yeah. But so you know where you're going out because you go out, you know, you stayed in your little lane and you went on out.
What?
But amazing anyway. This is the forum right across over this way would be where the lighthouse is, would be the Coliseum, and then this is the whole forum. So we'll see a lot more of that here in just a second. This looks like the Alamo,
Yes,
I'm
it
just
does.
saying. It just looks like the Alamo. But again, just some random amazing building sitting out there in the forum.
Go back, go back. It is very hard to walk on those
Oh.
rocks.
You see the
Yes,
cobblestone.
it is, yeah, that big, and
Yeah.
there's space between. It's not even, it's not level.
It's not level, you're constantly
How many times
twisting
did
your,
we caught me from, stopping me from falling?
man, I don't know how many times. Thank God for good shoes.
Yes.
Yes, and they had women with in heels trying to go up on there. And we looked at each other like, you've got to be kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I told them to wear comfortable
Some
shoes.
don't make a lot of sense there. But yeah, it was difficult to walk on
Yeah.
that. Of course, the Coliseum from a different angle. This is the Arch of Constantine leading up to it, and we're going to show more of that here in a minute. And again, the Forum, this whole area is called the Forum. And again, walking up the stairs and up the mountains and everything else. King wanted to be part of this thing too, so he put in his 2 cents. But yeah, just the amazing, the way it's done is just incredible, gorgeous. You would think it was all there by looking at it from here, you know, but it's not all there, just a little bit. Again, just another one of the
That was the
buildings.
museum.
Oh, okay, that was the museum, yeah, or as my kids used to say, the museum. You go in and you see them. Makes perfect sense. Look at this, I took this because of the arches, but you see these things just all through the whole thing, all the way around the top, all the way around. Why? It's, yeah, but it's just amazing, and you see all the construction thing there. They're constantly redoing these places. Look at this place. Again, the thing that used to be, you can see a part of the ceiling of this thing, the round thing up here, amazing in its design. And it used to be a whole building that came out here. You can see an empty, broken off column, and look at the different details that's in there. Again, a piece down here that's got a bunch of things, but this is just a local piece of art that they put in here. Just, and it turns, but gorgeous. I mean, it lit up a lot in the sun when the sun would hit it. And again, another column on the other side that's broken off.
And wherever it breaks and wherever it lays, that's where it stays.
Yeah, they would just leave it there. Here is just something sitting on the edge of the building, and you can
They'll put
see.
it back together.
Yeah.
They try and piece things back together.
Yeah, and you can see the detail. And this is just part of a wall, and it was a gigantic wall, and this kind of stuff was everywhere throughout the whole thing. Go figure that.
Throughout Rome.
Yeah, yeah.
Not just where we were,
Oh, yeah.
all around Rome.
Yeah, you ride around in Rome on the tour buses and stuff with the open top and all that. And you're driving around through the middle of, you know, town, and there's these giant columns that, just 2 or 3 columns lined up. Just sitting there in the middle of everything else, you know. It's amazing. Again, columns just hanging out there. And you can see the detail. This looks like a bear or something to me, right here. But there's all just kind of crazy thing, and this brick, this they actually made and cut to where, see how long and narrow they are?
Yes.
I thought that was newer, but it wasn't new, come to find out.
Sometimes that brick would be in a point.
Yeah,
Sticking
yeah,
out.
the detail that they put in it, I think I got some of that. Well, hey, come on. That's again, looks like eggs there to me, you know? I mean, again, just some random piece. Here's an old well, so I was trying to get some water up. I don't know what that was, but it looked like a well to me, so I said, she says, act like you're taking a drink of water, so I did this.
At
So,
least he listens to me.
yeah, and look at this, they found these pieces and they put them back together like a puzzle. And you can see all these different people all the way across, and they put it back together, and it's just sitting there on the wall in the museum. And this, we are wondering, is that a scroll
I think it was.
or is that a seat? But it was so high,
I think it was a scroll.
I mean, you'd have to climb up onto it, but just an interesting big old slab of marble. And how do they get these things around to put them up 50, 60, 80 feet in the air? How do they do that, you know? 1,000 years ago. I can't wrap my head around it. This was a little miniature of some little thing that they had that they made. This was done by the Forum, yeah. And it was just made by the ancients because it's very, very old. They just like we do of a city.
They cut it out of the stone.
Yeah, they cut it all out of stone, all out of one piece of stone. None of even the little pieces and stuff like that, it's all one piece of rock.
And in this right here, you can walk underneath, you can look underneath, and you can, it's like a tunnel.
Yeah, and like a road went, and
Yeah.
it goes through that tunnel, and goes out the other side, and comes out over there. You can see again on the other side, a piece of a column that broke off. Again, and just another picture of the Forum. Here we are having lunch directly across the street from the thing, and you can see all the construction stuff everywhere.
American color.
And
Yeah.
of all
Oh, yeah.
things in Rome, he eats a hamburger.
Well, you know, that day I needed some protein.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't
Yeah, I
eat
know.
Italian
Well,
food.
it was a hamburger patty on a salad, basically.
And I ate Greek.
Yeah, she had a Greek salad. There we are again, just showing you the Colosseum. And pretty quick, we're going to get, back up. Again, a little closer, close up of the Colosseum. And again, looking out, this actually was a hill where they, oh my goodness, I forgot what they said. You're looking across the street here, obviously. And what did they do with the hill? I forget, I remember the other day. I apologize, it was so much stuff. And this was getting inside the Colosseum now.